Hello and welcome to Vegan Cafe 21. Today we are making vegetable quinoa biryani. So we will start roasting our vegetables in an oven and then put it all together. So we'll go through the first step. I already have chopped our vegetables. I have a pound of diced portobello mushrooms, cup of red pepper. I have about a cup of broccoli florets, cup of chopped carrots, and a cup of diced red onion. Also to this I'll add some diced green pepper. Coat all our vegetables with a generous drizzle of olive oil. I have already started preheating my oven to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. So the oven will be ready and waiting for us. To this I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and a few grains of black pepper, about a quarter teaspoon or so. That's it. Give everything a quick toss and spread it on a parchment lined baking tray and put it in your oven for about 30 minutes or so. The vegetables have been set on a parchment lined baking tray and in they go into the oven. While the vegetables are roasting, we will get started on our quinoa. In this pot, I have a cup and a half of quinoa. So to a cup and a half of quinoa, 2 1/4 cup of water. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of pink salt along with a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, a drizzle of olive oil, about a teaspoon or so, a quick stir. Once it comes to a rolling boil, you cover it with a lid, turn your heat down to low and let it cook for about 15 minutes. While our vegetables are roasting in the oven and quinoa is boiling on the stove top, I'm going to show you how to make biryani masala from scratch. Biryani masala is the most important ingredient of any biryani you want to make. So let me walk you through the ingredients. Here we have 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of whole black pepper, half a piece of star anise, 4 cloves, 4 pods of green cardamom, 1 pod of black cardamom, 1 small bay leaf, and a very small piece of mace. It's called Javitri in Hindi or mace. A teaspoon and a half of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of pink salt, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, and I have nutmeg here that I'm going to grate, a very small pinch of it. So let's get started. On the stove top, I started heating a pan in which we are going to dry roast our whole spices that we just saw. So my pan is hot. To it, I'm going to add cumin seeds, black pepper, star anise, 4 cloves, 4 pods of green cardamom, 1 pod of black cardamom, 1 bay leaf, that's a tiny piece of mace, and we will now dry roast all of these spices. Our spices are ready for us, so we are going to turn the heat off. It only takes about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So we roasted them in a hot pan and on low heat. To this, I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, and I'm going to grate a very small pinch of nutmeg over it. Now we're going to let it cool before we take it to our spice grinder and make a very fine powder out of it. I'm going to use my coffee bean grinder to grind these spices. It really works well. To this mix, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of pink salt, and we'll grind it to a fine powder. And there we go. Here's our biryani masala. All right, so our roasted vegetables are out of the oven. Our quinoa has been boiled and is ready. As you can see, it sat on the stove on low heat for 15 minutes. If you want it a little bit on the softer side, I would say let it cook for 20 minutes and then let it sit covered for another 10 minutes for the perfect texture. So now we are ready to assemble our biryani. Here in this skillet, I'm going to put just about less than a teaspoon of olive oil, and I'm going to add our quinoa to this skillet. Keep the heat low. To this, I'm going to add our roasted vegetables. And now our fragrant biryani masala that we made from scratch. The ingredients we used yielded about 5 to 6 teaspoons of masala. So we are going to add about 4 teaspoons, and you can add more if you like. Give it a quick toss. You can give it a taste test and add more masala if you feel like you need to add more flavor to it. And then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Mix it all in, and we are ready to taste. It tastes perfect. So now to finish it off, if you like, you can garnish it with some sweetened dried cranberries. And there you have it. Delicious quinoa biryani with biryani masala made from scratch.